Tactics podcast. Today indeed with something rather self-development related, which is a nice to have, I would definitely say. I don't really know what it is gonna be about today. I still am really into the whole Shaolin type of thing. The past hour, I would say, I've been listening to Andrew Huberman. So once again, a few really good episodes that he has uploaded lately. From there is it's about the science of eating for health, fat loss, and lean muscle. Then the one with Lex Friedman was also quite interesting, and with Sam Harris, of course, as well, which is actually kind of insane having a 4.5 hour episode. It's it's quite a lot for them. I would believe. I mean, especially when it is in their free time and whatnot. Should be definitely quite the thing, because I would assume that they have quite a few things to do, actually quite much to do to anyway, with both of them being, I think, professors, I would assume. But yeah, anyway, let's see. Let's see if I can find something from something Shaolin related. Yeah, that's definitely how to write that. Or maybe Confucianism. Yes, I can write really well. Takes its guide principle. Let's see. Let's see what we are having here. I don't really know about the quality of this thing here, but it might be good enough. So Shaolin philosophy takes its guiding principle of enlightenment through meditation. So it definitely also includes mental and physical exercise. And as I've mentioned before, this very hard physical training might actually just enable one to, meditate for, on one hand, meditate for so long, having the perseverance and also endurance and the, one could also say motivation, I think, to do so on one hand. On the other hand, definitely like, and Human once mentioned before that when you're not in the right mental space, maybe changing the way you're using your body, so maybe standing up or just actually doing something, is definitely advisable for getting into the specific state that you're seeking, or changing the specific state that you are in at the time. Hold us back in life. Yes, this is this is Facebook. We're not gonna do that. Let's see if there are some other articles that he has posted. No, there is nothing. But we could definitely also check him out. 3 videos, 12-month self-mastery program. Something that I'm not really liking to see is that this this kind of space that all of this seems to kind of be in is a bit of the negative side of the self-development community, I would argue, because I mean, these are just the few scam things that we're seeing or have been seeing over the years, over and over again. Like, I'm having this whatever, this whatever program, and you just have to do that, and it's fine, and whatever. Yeah, not really a big fan of that. But I mean, he is indeed a master. I mean, there's something to his name, and definitely also a lot of videos around his thoughts on different things, which are all quite interesting. I think there is some sort of cooperation with the Mulligan brothers, that enables, it's really motivational. Like the stuff that they have been doing for years, I would say. Let's see what we're having here. Great, do that. Is this him? Shifu Shiheng Yi. I don't think that this is him. I certainly don't think so. But it would actually be interesting to see what the Shaolin Temple Europe. What is this? Oh, it's a club, more or less. Is there an English site as well? No, there isn't. Apparently what they're teaching is Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism. There is a book called The Tao of Shi or something from Tim Ferriss, I guess. The Tao of Tim Ferriss. I think that this is not it. Whatever this is, it is not it. There was something around that. So we're having Taoism, Confucianism, and also Buddhism, and the practical things. We're having Shaolin, Kung Fu, Tai Chi, and Qigong. Apparently, Tai Chi and Qigong kind of being the same thing. I've googled it once, and it might have gotten it wrong, or I might paraphrase it in a wrong way. But one of them, I think, is full body, and the other one was regarding certain situations. As far as I remember, please take it with a grain of salt. So when you have a headache, you're doing certain movements to, to better the symptoms that you're having, and so on and so forth. We might have a look at Taoism in general, because I am not really familiar with that, but this time we're doing it in English. Refers to either a school of philosophical thoughts, both of which share ideas of concepts of Chinese origin, emphasis living in harmony with the Tao, which is thoroughfare, or the way. The Tao is generally defined as the source of everything and the ultimate principle underlying reality. The Tao Te Ching, a book containing teachings. Was it this? Maybe, could have been the case. A book containing teachings attributed to Laozi, together with the later writings of Xiangxi or Xiangxi something, are both widely considered the keystone works of Taoism. Spelling, pronunciation, categorization, history, doctrines. Let's have a look at the doctrines texts. Ethics. Taoism tends to emphasize various themes into the Tao Te Ching and the other ones, such as naturalness, spontaneity, simplicity, detachment from desires, and most important of all, Wu Wei, or Wei. The concepts of those keystone texts cannot be equated with Taoism as a whole. Tao literally means way, but can also be interpreted as road, channel, path, doctrine, or line. In Taoism, it is the one which is natural, spontaneous, eternal, nameless, and indescribable. It is at once the beginning of all things and the way in which all things pursue their course. It has variously been denoted as the flower of the universe, a conceptually necessary ontological ground, or a demonstration of nature. The Tao also is something that individuals can find immanent in themselves. The active expression of Tao is called De, also spelled Te or Te, whatever, translated with virtue or power, in the sense that results from an individual living and cultivating the Tao. Then we're having Wu Wei. I'm still actually not over this thing that I've been searching with Tim Ferriss. I might have gotten that wrong. Let's have a look at the pictures. Tao of, it might actually been the Tao of Seneca. Might have actually been that one, which definitely does not have anything to do with Taoism. But yeah, Wu Wei, the polysemous term, Wei refers to any intentional or deliberate action, while Wu carries the meaning of there is no or lacking without, or lacking / without. Common translations are non-action, effortless action, or action without intent. The meaning is sometimes emphasized by using the paradoxical expression Wei Wu Wei, action without action. In ancient Taoist texts, Wu Wei is associated with water through its yielding nature. Taoist philosophy, in accordance with the I Ching, I guess, proposes that the universe works harmoniously according to its own way. When someone exerts their will against the world in a manner that is out of rhythm with the cycles of change, they may disrupt that harmony, and unintended consequences may more likely result rather than the willed outcome. Taoism does not identify one's will as the root problem, rather it asserts that one must place their will in harmony with the natural universe. Which, I don't know if this is something that we're only just seeing now, but this debate about whether we're having free will or not probably, has been around for years, many years probably. But I think that might actually be kind of part of it. I mean, when they say, or when Wikipedia says, Taoism does not identify one's will as the root problem, rather it asserts that one must place their will in harmony with the natural universe. Whatever this might mean for you or for somebody else, also means, I think, not having free will in that sense, but having to attach your will to what nature wants from you and wants to do with you, which might be seen in a way of, okay, I'm good at this, that, and the other thing, and therefore I'm also doing so because I am good at it by nature. Could be the case. Thus, the potentially harmful interference may be avoided, and in this way goals can be achieved effortlessly. Those goals that you in the end actually do not even want to have. That's great. Some sort of. But yeah, partly. The sage seeks to come into harmony with the great Tao, which itself accomplishes by non-action. Okay. Then we're having... Maybe there is something... Taoism. Let's Google for that. Maybe there is actually... I kind of have a feeling that Ned Eliasson has something around that. Notes. Let's see if we can find something there. Tao Te Ching by Lu So summary, notes and lessons. Yes, there was actually something about that. I do not actually remember this cover, seeing this cover ever before, to be honest. Okay, it's it's rather small, I would say. So some of the oldest food for thought in the world needs to be reread regularly, and you'll find new things each time, which I have read many times before, and I think that this is indeed the case for especially good books. Depends on the book, though, of course. Well, yeah. I think actually for many books, I thought about whether this does change when you're reading non-fiction versus fiction, but I think even with fiction, it might indeed be the case, because we grow as people and we might see things in a different way and therefore discover new things, or at least, maybe partly trick ourselves into seeing new things, even though they're not really there. It is better to leave a vessel unfilled than to attempt to carry it when it is full. If you keep feeling a point that has been sharpened, the point cannot long preserve its sharpness. It is better to leave a vessel unfilled than to attempt to carry it when it is full. If you keep feeling a point that has been sharpened, the point cannot long preserve its sharpness, unless, of course, and this is an addition by myself, you're sharpening it every single day. For me, it is actually about skills. I don't know what you're seeing there, but I'm seeing skills there. Developing certain skills, and once you've reached a certain point, it might not stay as sharp as it might be with languages, for example. I mean, when you have learned a certain language in school that you're not using daily, or at least kind of, somewhat regularly, then you may lose the skill of using this language, at least as good as you've been able to use it before. But yeah. When the work is done and one's name is becoming distinguished, to withdraw into obscurity is the way of heaven. He who stands in his tiptoes does not stand firm. He who stretches his legs does not walk. In brackets, easily, it's not a bracket, but I don't care. He who stretches his legs does not walk. Does not walk easily. I don't know if it's just me or it's just, so out of context that it just really does not make any sense to me, or gives me any clue, whether or whatever this might be about. He who stands on his tiptoes. When I'm standing on my tiptoes, I'm trying to see certain things that I am not seeing, or grab certain things that I'm really stretching. I'm really trying to get somewhere. I'm deliberately trying to reach a certain goal. And yes, by doing so, I make myself maybe a bit more prone to being harmed, I guess. In terms of, I might be in certain fields, or I might be, really, stretching myself in a certain field that that I do not have that much experience in, maybe, and therefore there is a higher possibility of failure, which might hurt me then. It depends on how you think about things, but still, yeah, period. And he who stretches his legs does not walk easily. In which way am I stretching my legs though? And yes, when I'm doing something different, then I might not walk, or it might just at least be really difficult to do so. Hence, the sage is able in the same way to accomplish his great achievements. It is through his not making himself great that he can accomplish them. It is through his not making himself great that he can accomplish them. These tasks or these achievements. Not making himself great. Maybe being simple, might really or does really tie into the whole simplicity thing that we've read just before. And there is no calamity greater than lightly engaging in war. To know and yet think we do not know is the highest attainment. Not to know and yet think we do know is a disease. So to know and yet think we do not know is good. So when I know something, and yet I clearly see that I may not know everything, that of course I'm having a certain maybe a certain proficiency, maybe I'm having quite some experience in some field, but still noticing and still being aware of the fact that I don't know everything, and I may not be the best, and I there's still some room to grow, and not being cocky quite, I think. Versus not to know and yet think we do know is a disease. So just being quite a nothing, and maybe even talking to your grandmaster and being like, I know every shit, but this is not really the case. This is indeed definitely not advisable. By the way, this book is by Stephen Mitchell, Mitchell. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna end the episode here. I wish you the best and hopefully see you soon. So